This is the story of a man named Job. Now, Job wasn't just any ordinary guy. He was known for being incredibly rich, incredibly respected, and most importantly, incredibly faithful to God. He had everything you could imagine: land, animals, servants, and a big happy family. But what made Job truly special wasn't his wealth, it was his heart. Job was a man who did everything he could to live a good, honest life, and he stayed close to God through it all. But this story isn't just about Job's good life. It's about what happened when everything came crashing down. One day, something surprising happened in heaven. God was talking with the angels, and along came Satan, the enemy, the accuser. Satan had a bold claim. He said, "Job only loves you because his life is perfect. Take away his blessings, and he'll curse you to your face." God knew Job's heart better than anyone, so he allowed Satan to test Job, but with one condition: Satan could take away Job's wealth, his comfort, and even his family. But he couldn't harm Job himself. And just like that, Job's world flipped upside down. One messenger after another came running to Job with terrible news. "Raiders stole your cattle. Fire destroyed your sheep. A storm collapsed your son's house, and all your children are gone." It was too much for anyone to bear. Job was devastated. He tore his clothes and fell to the ground. But instead of cursing God, he said something incredible. "The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." Satan wasn't done. He went back to God and said, "Well, sure, Job didn't break, but that's only because you didn't touch his body. Let me make him suffer physically, and then you'll see the real Job." So, Job was struck with painful sores, head to toe. Every movement hurt. Even sitting still was agony. His wife couldn't understand why he was still holding on to his faith. She said, "Just curse God and die." But Job's reply was steady and firm. Should we accept only good from God and not trouble? Hearing about Job's suffering, 3 of his friends came to visit: Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar. At first, they just sat silently with him, grieving. But after a while, they started talking. And their advice? It wasn't very helpful. They believed Job must have done something wrong to deserve all this suffering. After all, bad things don't just happen to good people, right? They told Job to confess his hidden sins, but Job insisted he was innocent. The conversation went back and forth for a long time. Job's friends were sure they had all the answers, but Job, through all his confusion and pain, kept holding on to one truth. Even if he didn't understand God's plan, he wasn't going to turn away from him. Finally, after all the arguments and questions, God himself spoke to Job out of a whirlwind. And wow, God didn't give Job easy answers. Instead, God asked Job question after question. "Where were you when I laid the earth's foundations? Can you make the sun rise? Can you command the oceans?" God's point was clear. There's a whole universe of things Job couldn't possibly understand. But God sees it all. God wasn't being cruel. He was reminding Job that human beings only see a tiny piece of the picture. But God sees the whole story. And Job got the message loud and clear. He humbled himself, admitting that God's wisdom was far beyond his own. And in the end, God blessed Job even more than before. His health was restored, his wealth returned, and he had a brand new family. But the real treasure Job gained wasn't just riches. It was a deeper, unshakable trust in God. So, what can we learn from Job? Life is unpredictable. Sometimes, really bad things happen to really good people, and we don't always get to know why. But Job's story reminds us that even in the hardest moments, faith doesn't have to break. Trusting God doesn't mean everything will make sense. It means holding on, even when nothing does. Because in the end, Job's faith wasn't about getting answers. It was about knowing that God was still there, still in control, and still good. Thanks for watching. And remember, just like Job, your story isn't over yet.